I'm Chris with Electron Automotive. Today we're going to take apart Prius battery. We're going to pull it out, show you guys step by step everything you need to do, all the tools, and we're going to put it back in so you can make sure you don't miss anything, do it all right. And I'm also going to talk about some things to do if you run into any issues, some of the problems that we see commonly. So first thing I'm going to talk about the tools we need to get it out. You need practically nothing. A ratchet, an extension, needle nose pliers for some clips, and a 10 and a 12 millimeter. These are what you need to get the battery out. These are some recommended things. This guy, because he makes things a lot faster. This helps get a hard angle bolt, and then here's a magnet in case you drop it. You can go and pick up a bolt with these. So let's get going on this. This Prius has never been opened before, so every single nut and bolt and clip is on there. Let's go through it step by step. So first thing, take apart all of the cosmetic stuff and the interior. I'll put the rug on the roof face down so it doesn't scratch anything. And then I'm going to put a lot of these things inside on top of that. Just to keep everything in one convenient space. Prius, you probably already know this, but push the button down right here. Knock that seat down, same over here. And that's going to give you the space you need to get in. Now, first thing is pull out the safety plug before you start touching anything, and then that's going to take your chance from getting shocked down to an absolute zero. So to get the safety plug out, you need to pull it out, flip it up, and then it pops right out. Now, I'm going to talk about this 2 times in the video, once now, once towards the end, because this is by far the most common problem that we see when people install our batteries and say, hey, we're having a problem, it's not working. It's because of the safety plug. So, you're going to reinstall it like this. You don't want it angled or anything like that. When you put it in, it's going to shove in, turn 90 degrees, and here's the part everyone forgets, has to click in. So I'll show that to you real quick. Barely in there, push it in, 90 degrees, click, that's it. That's all you gotta do. So, I'm gonna take this out, set it up on the dash. Now we'll keep going with the rest of the plastics. Now at the bottom of this little bucket, right here, there's a little plastic nut. You can simply turn it with your fingers. If yours is too tight, just grab the 10 millimeter socket, that'll pull it right off, no problem. Okay, now we're going to remove this piece here. There's one 10 millimeter bolt we need to remove. So this guy, just lift them both up and they'll pop off. It's going to sound like something's breaking, but everything's okay. There are your 3 clips. So when you're pulling this off, don't grab it here in the middle. Grab it from where these clips are on the sides. Location of these, 1, 2. These are the clips that hold it in. You can see they're stuck in here. Later we're going to have to take these out and put them back in here, or they will never stay. So only one 10 millimeter bolt to get this out. It's hiding right in here. That's all that it is. Now still a few more clips holding this in. And I'll just leave that forward like that. This isn't like the 2nd generation Prius. You don't have to take the seats out. You can leave it like that, that's it. Now next thing I'm going to do is remove this side piece right here. When we change out the batteries here, we do not remove this. We can get it out without that. But that's because we know where the clips are right behind it. So I'm going to take this out just so you guys have easier access to it and you can see exactly what's going on. 10mm bolt right here. I'm going to set all of my nuts and bolts over here. Another one right here. Now this is a screw. It's not a bolt. So when this goes back in, you must use the screw, not a bolt. One more clip here. Removing this guy, he's got 4 clips, 1, 2, 3, 4. So once again, you want to pull right here, right here. You don't want to grab from the middle. This guy over here is going to pull out. This one's a little tricky, so we'll zoom in on this part and use the pick. Just a simple little pick. Now what I did is I put the pick in this little hole right here, pulled out, this guy came out. Now this needs to be pulled out and forward. This next bolt is probably going to be the hardest bolt to get to, and in reality it's not all that difficult. So I'll show you how to get that. Once I have the part out, I'll show you where the bolt is, where it goes, and why it's so difficult. When you see where it's at, you'll understand. So I'm going to remove this over here. On this side. So I just removed a 12mm bolt that holds this piece in right here. So this whole piece right here is held in by this 12mm bolt that goes through here from the back side, like that. So all that we're doing is pushing the seat down so we can get this gun onto the bolt, loosen it, and then it's out. After that, the side, I don't know what you want to call it, the side cover is ready to come out. Right here there's a clip. Back up here there's another clip. And then just start gently tugging. And the whole thing's out. Okay, now we're going to start actually taking stuff off of the actual battery. This right here is the dump for the air. All of the air after it cools down the battery gets shot out from there. There's one plastic clip holding it down. And we're going to need our needle nose pliers. The clip is back in here. So get the pliers underneath the clip and just gently pull up and it's out. Now this guy has clips holding him in too. These ones are a lot easier to get out simply by just pulling up. You don't have much access to the clips. So this guy I want to clip here. It's out. Now there's one down here. Just pull this whole thing straight up. And that's it. Clip here, up here. Now this duct for the battery fan has a clip holding it in from this side. It's right here. So pushed him out from the back. One more clip right here. Now we'll deal with the wiring harness. We're going to push in right here on this connector and pull out. So push in. There's a little clip right here that you need to push down to get it out. So I got these two connectors out and the third one right here. Same thing, all three of these connectors have a little lever to push on. You push that down, it unclips it, allows you to pull it out. So you've got three right here. Now this guy right here, it's got another clip. These are a little bit tricky. This clip here, instead of pushing down, you push it out and pull up and it comes off. So that guy's disconnected. Another clip here. I'll show this one once I get it out. So the correct way to get this out is to pinch these two tabs together. When you pinch those two together, it allows you to pull it out. Now you need to do the same thing here for this fan, but it's a pain in the butt to get to. So I usually just pull it up and it doesn't break anything and you're still able to reuse it. So I'm going to pull up on that. That's out, and then one more of those same clips right over here. After that, these annoying clips are pretty much done. Okay. That one's out now. One on the orange high voltage wire comes out pretty easily. Now we need to take this case off. This orange clip right here is not going to let us take this case off. There is a proper way to take this off without breaking anything, but it's not necessary, so we're just going to break it because we don't even need to reinstall it. It's the same clip that you have right here. So I'm just going to get underneath it, pry it out, and break it. Now we're going to take a 10 millimeter, take off this upper case, or the cover. Four nuts to remove. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Flip it over here. Put the 4 nuts with the cover so you don't forget where they go. And then now the next are the 2 high voltage wires. There's nothing to worry about there. The safety plug is out, it's drained. You can touch both of them just fine. It's not going to hurt anything. So, unbolt those. Once again, just 2 nuts. When I take them off, I just put them right back on there lightly so we don't lose them. And that's pretty much it. All we need to do now is unbolt it from the frame and take 2 people to pull it out. So I'm going to go over all of the 12mm bolts. 2 easy ones right up here in the front. Those 2, we've got 2 on this side, 2 on that side, and then the battery will be free. These next ones are a little difficult to see, and it helps to have an extension. So we'll go back here now and pop these 2 out. First is this one right here. And then second is this one right here. Even though this looks like it's for something else, like the seat, it actually holds the battery down too. Something to notice and remember, these are totally different types of bolts. Even though on the top they look very similar, the thicker one is the one that goes more towards the front. I'll go to the other side. Same thing over here. It is identical to the other side, just a mirror image. Now that we got those 2 unplugged, let's see. Okay, this one doesn't have a vent tube. Some of these batteries right here will have a vent tube coming out. It allows any dangerous gases that come out of the batteries to escape. Those gases don't vent unless something goes wrong. I'm not sure exactly why, but Toyota stopped doing them, you know, roughly, I think it was 2012 and up, don't have the vent tube. So if you have a 10 or 11, right here would be a rubber hose, you just disconnect. I'm going to lift up on the battery, just make sure that it's loose. Yeah, it looks good. So now I'm going to get somebody to give me a hand with this. We're both going to pull it out and put it back in. Don't try and do this by yourself. You can do it, but it's a pain in the butt. You can get wires caught up over here, hurt yourself, you know, end up scratching your bumper when you're pulling it out. So go grab a buddy right now and have him help you get this out. Alright, so now the battery's back in the car. We've switched out all of the modules and the bus bars, did a few simple tests. Now it's ready to go back in. 6 bolts. First thing we're going to do is secure the battery to the vehicle, and we need to start these by hand. If you're using an electric gun like me, you cannot start it with an electric gun because it's really easy to strip these bolts. So let's go through it one by one. Those 2 go in nice and easy. Don't tighten them all the way down until you have all of the bolts in, because if it's a little crooked, you tighten them down. The other ones are going to be very difficult to put in. Go to this corner first. Once again, the big bolt is the one that goes more forward back here. You screw it in. Now, one more down here. Use my drill as a flashlight. Cool, those went in really easy. They don't always go in easy. Sometimes you gotta shift this box around a bit. Now, same thing over here. Big one first. The little one. Now here's a good example of it not lining up. If you can see, those 2 holes are not in line with each other. So we're going to have to shift some stuff around. Okay, so we got it all situated. The black bracket is on top, the 2 holes are lined up. So we're gonna put that in by hand. Cool, now they're good to go. Go and zap them down, wrench them down tight. Cool, and the case is in. These clips right here, I'm going to take them out right now because they're going to need to go back into something else later. So squeeze in between the needle nose pliers, pull up, and it's out. If you don't have all 4 of them in here, it's probably because they're stuck in the other part, and that's what we want, but that doesn't always happen. Got these guys, putting them up there for now. Now start reconnecting everything in pretty much the reverse order. You can go in any order. This is just the one that I choose. You guys here. These guys, if you're torquing them, I say something like 90 to 100 inch-pounds would be good. This gun has an adjustable torque setting, so I have it knocked down so I don't over torque it. If you have a gun, make sure you're very careful with that. Honestly, I'd prefer that you guys just tighten it with a regular ratchet so that there's no mistakes. Because if you break that, it can be an expensive repair. So now we'll do the clips. We have this clip for the orange cable. Pop it in, that one down here, the one on top of the battery fan, this clip to the bracket, and then these 3 connectors here. Cool, all right, so now a little double check that we're gonna do just to make sure everything is okay. We're gonna start the car up right now before we put everything in, just to make sure things are okay. Now when we put the safety plug in, high voltage will be here at these 2 wires. So I just wanna emphasize, put the plug in, go and check the car. Everything is good, take the plug out right away. Don't touch anything at all with the plug in, so I'll go grab that. Shove it in, 90 degrees, push it. We're good. So continue with the reinstall. First thing is the plug out again. There went the nuts. All right, so next thing we're gonna put this guy on. And this is why I recommend a magnet. Helps you get bolts to drop. That should have been the 4th one. All right, lost a nut, so I had to pause it to go and fish for it, find it. All right, give these guys a zap. 1, 2, 3, Next thing we're going to do is a plastic piece that goes over here. I'm going to pull this clip out. He's going to pop in right here. There's also another clip back here. You set it on, it'll pop in, and you're good with that. Oh, never mind. Got to do this guy before we put that on. Two clips here. One is going to go through here. The other is this one right here that pushes into the frame of the vehicle. One pushes in right there. So we went in there. That's good. Now we're ready for this cover. Then we're going to put this exhaust vent in with its clip. Real simple, just slides right in. If you have trouble with this going in, it's usually because this got pushed down from sitting on it or moving it or handling it. So pull it back up, make some space. And that's in. So pretty much everything now is done with the battery. We just got to put all of the cosmetic stuff back. So we'll do that in order. We'll start with this annoying guy. It's imperative that you have an extension. And you're going to need the 12 for this. So the hook right here, when we first put this in, we're going to put it in, down, and it'll lock into place. This bolt here will hold it in. We also have this Velcro strap right here that's going to need to be connected. First thing is the Velcro. Now it's in. Now my trick to get this in is I put the nut in, put my finger on it, shove it in, and once I get it in there, I turn really, really slow to make sure I don't cross thread. Give it a tug test to make sure it's actually in there. And it's good. Next, we'll put this cover in over here. It has all of these clips along the edge that are going to hold it in. Straightforward, just push it in, let it clip in. This guy just goes straight down, put it right into place. 10mm socket. Got these two guys. Notice there's this little tooth that hangs down. He actually locks in to keep this from swiveling. Another one over here. This plastic guy shoves right in. And that's it for the side cover. Now we're going to flip this guy down, but before we do, we need to make sure these are secured into it. Actually, these guys right here pop in like that. That's what actually holds it into here. Line it up and it's good. Now before we put this other one on, we have a 10mm bolt here. So can't forget that. Go ahead and pause it. So put this screw in here. Once again, start it really, really slow so you don't cross thread. And it's in. That's that. And then final screw right here. This cannot be very tight. You can strip it real easy since it's a screw and it's just going into plastic. So for that, everything that's on the roof is going to go in here. The only thing you need to remember before this next part is the safety plug. You're going to have to pull it all out. Now when you put this plastic nut on, all you got to do is push down. You don't have to twist it or tighten it. It'll just go in automatically. Cover back.